Hi guys. Okay, I've had these little flowers sitting on a little table beside my lounge for months and months. And I decided to get rid of all my crafty stuff that's sitting next to the lounge, stuff that I do at night. And so before I put these away, I thought I would quickly show you how to make them. You probably know how to make them already. They're just book page sewn with a button. They're quite cute. Look at this. And I mean, you can make them with any paper. I was going to do some with brown paper. So I had these in a little baggie sitting there with a few brown paper bags. They were finished except I needed to sew the buttons on. So I didn't end up making them with brown paper bags. I may do eventually, but not now because I just want to get rid of all the craft stuff in my lounge room. You know, when you go sit at the kitchen table or on the lounge and you've got a little table next to you and you just do something while you're watching TV and then you don't finish it and then you do something else and this little craft pile builds up. So I've cleaned that up. So I've sewn the buttons on this morning. And I thought I would just make a couple with you if you don't know how to make them. I really love these because, I mean, you can make them big or small. You can make them as big as you want or as small as you want. But I love them because I've made these ones a bit dimensional, but you can just leave them flat if you want. I tend to scruff them up so that they're a bit, scruffy, grungy, fluffy. I think they look cuter like that. But yeah, I just think they're adorable. You can put them in journals, in Happy Mails, put them on gift tags and card making. I don't know, whatever. Use them wherever. I just think they're really cute. Put them in a bowl and leave them like that because they just look really delicious. Anyway, let's make a few. Now, I know some people are tempted to say, what size book page? And the answer to that is any size book page. It doesn't matter. I've just got a small paperback novel. I did, from memory, use a few different books just because the thickness and the colour of the pages. But then I inked them up so much that you kind of can't tell the difference anyway. But yeah, use whatever. I mean, I like vintagey and grungy, so you'll see that mine are a bit, darker. But you can use coloured paper, Christmas paper, whatever. And I'll show you why it doesn't really matter about the size of the page. Okay. Now, before I show you how to fold and cut them, if you've got some punches, you can do a few cheaty ones as well. Saves you hand cutting them. So I have this flower punch. So I did actually punch a few of these out to use as well. Just because I've got the punch and it's quicker than hand cutting them. Now this one has 5 little petals. I think when I cut them it has way more than 5. I don't even know how many. Can't remember. But Kirsten, Penny Rose Journals, if you're watching, remember when you were doing your gardening journal ages ago? These are what I was saving to send you. That's when I started making these. But I forgot to send them to you as usual. They'll arrive one day for your next gardening journal in 10 years' time. Okay. If you didn't see Kirsten's gardening journal, I'm going to put the link to her channel. You'll have to scroll back a bit. She made this beautiful gardening journal. Oops, I ripped that one. And I was going to send some of these so she could recycle them for the gardening journal, but yeah, I'm so slow and so slack I didn't. They're somewhere there at the end of my desk in a pile with everyone else's happy mail. Okay, so I've got this, and I've also got this itty little bitty one. Now, I've got some of these left over that I've already inked, so I think I'll use those instead of re-inking more. Now, I do have this little itty bitty punch, and I did punch a bunch and ink them, but the flowers I use them on, you can't even see them. The button's always bigger than the flower, so I've left those, and yeah, I'll probably chuck those in with Kirsten's other crap. Thanks, Kirsten. I love that you're my garbage bin. Okay. What else? Oh, I had a few other little ones left over, I think. I cut too many. Now, the other thing I've done, when I sew these together, I actually do sew it with a needle, and I just use some embroidery floss. I stuck a little scrap of fabric on the back, just so, you know, your sewing paper, it'll tear easy. So the top I didn't mind because there's a button there. But the back, I just put a little scrap of fabric. So I just had some little squares of an old shirt of mine that I just cut up and glued to the back before I sewed them. But I mean, you don't need to do that. If you want to sew them and you think they'll hold up as is, yeah, go for it. I did a few without that, but oh, I'll never find it. I had a purple button, I think. Where is it? Nope, can't find it. There's one flower with a purple button. How can I not find it? No, it's gone missing in the Never Nevers. Kids probably stole it, grandkids. Okay. Look how cute they are. I just love them. I don't know how I'll use them yet, but... Oh, this flower was just those punched ones. I had punched so many that I thought I'll make a few flowers with just those. So the whole thing's just layers and layers of that same punch. It's cute, but I don't know. I like them different sizes, I think. But it's quick and easy if you punch them. So yeah, if you've got some punches, you can incorporate them into this as well. Okay. Did I already tear a page? I don't remember. Let's go again. Okay, so any size page. You've probably seen this 1,000 times before, but if you haven't, I'll show you anyway. So just fold one corner over and tear it at that line. And that'll give you a square. Okay, leave it folded though, no need to. That'll give you a square, and your leftover little paper, do the same. Fold it over to the side. That'll give you another square. And this is what I mean. It doesn't matter what size page, because you'll make different sizes with each little scrap of paper as you tear it. And that one you can make a little bitty one. Okay, that's getting a bit small. Now if you want to make a whole bunch, what I did, I went through and just tore up a whole bunch of squares first, page by page, different sizes like this. Now this is going to be a really big flower. Now I wouldn't use a big flower like that, but I'm just going to make it a big one to show you how to cut it. Okay, so you've got your paper, fold it over into a half, fold it again in half. Okay, so now you've got this half, half. So you'll have one folded edge here and two here. And these two little folds just fold up to the top again. Fold that up to the top. I'll do a few with you so you can see anyway. Okay, so you'll be left with this. You've got two folded sides on one side and three on the other. And then just cut a little petal shape there. So now how big you cut your petal will determine how big your little flowers end up. So as you can see, this one I've cut quite a bit of paper off because I don't want them giant. This one will be big anyway, but not as big as. And then you've got your little flower. Now sometimes they're a bit wonky like this one. See this one? It doesn't come down very far. It's like a love heart. I haven't cared. I mean, you can go back and try and correct it if you want. You know, that's because this side here, I didn't start cutting down low enough. But I haven't worried if they turn out a bit weird or wonky looking. I just leave them like that because you're going to layer them up anyway, so you don't really notice that they're a bit weird shape. Okay, then you're left with these. And you either send these to Kirsten from Penny Rose Journal. I won't do that to you, Kirsten. That's really cruel. Or you just shove these in your scrap paper thing and we'll make some kooky paper or something out of them later. If you don't know what kooky paper is, I'll put a link to a previous video there down below. Okay, we'll make another one. So you've got your square, fold it in half, fold it in half again. Okay, and you've got two little flaps now, and just one straight edge. And just fold those little flaps in half again. Okay, so you've got this. 3 edges there. And 2 there. And cut your little petal. They'll also turn out a bit wonky if you don't fold it exactly even. See how here this side is shorter than this side. I don't care. I'm not fussed. Even if I try and make them nice and even, I'm really blind anyway, so chances are when I cut them they're going to turn out weird anyway. See, sometimes the weird ones are nice. Okay, and you've got another little flower. And what I was doing, because I like to, you know, I'm a bit of a mess maker. As I cut them, I kind of size them. I put them in piles because it's easier to make a whole bunch really quick that way once you start inking them. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, now you've got this little baby square, fold it in half again. Oops. And then the little flaps fold in half again. This one I folded really wonky. Okay, so, oops. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you've got 3 little folded sides on that side and 2 on the other. And just make a little petal. If you can cut it like a little teardrop shape, those turn out the cutest. See, I'm still getting little love heart shapes joined together. And look at these stupid little bits that you're left with. I know most of you will throw this out, but no. I'll add that to the scrap pile. Okay, I'm going to get a different size page just to show you the difference. Okay, this paper's a lot thicker. And it's a bit wider and a bit longer. This little edge, don't worry, you'll snip that off anyway. Okay, so fold it in half. Make a square. I'll get rid of these little raggedy bits. Okay. So this is a pretty big square. So fold it in half again. And the 2 flaps fold up again. So the reason the size of the page doesn't really matter is because regardless of the size page, however you cut it, it will really determine the size. So I can cut it down here and make a little baby flower, or I can cut it right up here and make a large flower. So yeah, it doesn't really matter if you go and get a whole bunch of different size pages. It's really however you cut it. And in fact, the bigger the page, the more paper you tend to waste, or the more scrap you'll be left with. Okay, so I just size them up as I go. This one, fold it. Okay, fold it in half again. Preferably line them up much better than me. And then fold those flaps in half again. See, mine are lined up so bad. Look at that. Doesn't matter. And just cut your little teardrop shape. Oops. See, this one is less love-hearty shape. See this petal? This one comes right down, but this one doesn't. Kind of love-hearty. This one is less so. Just depends if you cut far enough down on both sides. You'll see when you start cutting them. And you can have, you know, deep V's between the petals, or really shallow ones, so that I think I cut one like that. I'll never find it though. Never, never. Yeah, some of them I cut so that there wasn't deep V's between the petals. Just preference, whatever you want. I just did a little bit of a mix, to be honest. I find once you layer them all up, it kind of doesn't matter, because you can't really see the shape of each individual flower. Okay. So, fold in half. Fold in half. So you've just got that. And these two little flaps, fold them in half again. Okay, so you've got this 3 sides and 2 sides. See this one, the little petals are a lot skinnier. So as I was going, I was kind of putting them in size. And then just ink them up. Where's my ink? You don't have to ink them. Now my inky pages like this, I then also used. If you want, you can also just, if you know you want little ones, just tear the page in half to start with. So you'll have a square there. Little square there. Actually, this one I might do 2 little ones. And you can even do like itty bitty ones if you can be bothered cutting and folding them. Okay. So, see, my square is not quite square. They do turn out better if you make sure your square is actually a square. Okay, fold, fold. Fold the flaps. Oh. See, if it's not a square, turn out a little bit wonky. And that's okay. Oops. There you go. So use your inked pages. Oh, see, this one turned out a much nicer little shape. It's quite cute. Anyway, so I'll quickly fold these and then we'll make one little flower. Because, I mean, I'm sure you get the idea as long as you know how to fold it and cut it. Okay, 3 sides, 2 folded sides. Whoops. There's another one. I actually like when the petals are a bit fatter. But again, it really doesn't matter once you layer so many up together. You don't kind of notice. See, this is what I mean. See this one underneath? The petals are quite skinny. But from the top, there's so many layered together. You just don't notice. Okay, so let me go back. Half, half, and both those flaps in half. 3 folded sides there, 2 folded sides there. Cut a little teardrop. There's another one. Okay, let me get rid of that. And then if you want to make a whole bunch at once, like I didn't make too many for me. That's not a lot for me. But all I did, you just lie, 10 in a row or something, and then all I did was, I don't have enough cut to show you how I mass made them, but you'll get the idea. Line up a whole bunch in a row, and then I just put a dot of glue, dot of glue, dot of glue, dot of glue along like a little row for each size. Then I did smaller, 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 and then the littlest one on each. But I don't have enough cut, but I think you know what I mean. So I'm just going to make 1 or 2. Whoops. Now, you don't have to glue them either. You can just sew them straight away. I just think it's easier if you glue them. It holds the little flowers together while you sew it. And you can do a whole bunch in a row. So don't do one at a time like this. It's too slow. Do a whole bunch. And you can layer up as many layers as you want. Depends how fluffy and fat you want your little flower. I can't even see if they're centered from here. I hope they are. Let's put another one of those. See, if you've got a few punches already, that gives you a little bit of a head start. So you don't have to sit there and cut and fold every little flower. A little bit of a cheaty head start. Okay. So on the back of my little flower, before I sew it, I just put a little scrap of fabric. Oops. just so I've got something to sew through other than paper. You won't see it anyway if you're going to glue it down on a journal or a card or whatever you're making. And then get your button and sew it. Now, I've scrunched mine up. You could leave it flat like this, but I've scrunched mine up, and I actually scrunched my little petals before I sewed them. They're quite strong. I haven't torn any yet. And if it does tear, who cares? It's only a book page. We've got a million of them. Okay. But yeah, you can scrunch them after. I just kind of do it like a cupcake. Up like that. Like a little cupcake holder. See, they're quite cute, aren't they? Anyway, that's it. Some little book page paper flowers. Another way to get rid of some book pages. See, I think they're quite cute. I know I don't have any buttons on my desk. Oh, wait, I do. I always have buttons everywhere. Oh, good. I'll actually sew that one on there. And that's it. Easy. Super cute. Oh, no. Now I'll have to use those up. And it's one of those great little jobs to do in front of the TV. Just don't leave them there for 6 months like I did. Or longer. That's not an exaggeration, by the way. See this one? I love this one. This one I've put not too many layers, but just enough so that it's a bit fluffy. This one I've kind of put same sizes, and this one I've put all the flower punch. So, I mean, you can get some different type of flowers out of them. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.